The sun hits the back of your neck like a hand pressing you forward. 91 degrees, no cloud cover. The asphalt of the Vertigo Peak parking lot soft enough that your sneakers leave faint impressions as you walk. You lock your bike at the rack outside Gate 3 and pay $22 in cash, the last of it, crumpled fives you've been hoarding since July, and push through the turnstile alone. You've been here 6 times. You know the layout the way you know your own bedroom. The food court to the left, with its funnel cake smell that gets into everything. The games midway running north to south and straight ahead, rising above all of it like the skeleton of something ancient. The obliterator. 3,200 feet of bone-white steel track. A 127-foot inverted loop. A top speed of 71 miles per hour. You can hear it from the gate. That mechanical scream, that crowd roar, that split-second silence at the top before the descent. Danny was supposed to be here. Danny texted at 9:15. Something came up, so sorry, next time. You stared at the message for a while in your driveway and then got on your bike anyway because today is the last Saturday before school and because you need this. One enormous, perfect, unambiguous rush before summer closes over your head like water. You don't let yourself think about why you need it this badly. That's not what today is for. The queue for the obliterator is 12 minutes, according to the board. Light crowd this early. You get in line behind a family of 4 and a couple in matching tie-dye, and you watch the ride cycle through while you wait. You watch the cars launch off the final brake run and into the loading station with that pneumatic exhale, precise and indifferent, like the machine is barely trying. The ride operator is a teenager with a sunburned nose and a name tag that says Marco. He's talking to someone on the platform when the previous group files out. When your group files in, he walks the row pressing lap bars without looking at them, his head still half turned toward his coworker, finishing a sentence about something that happened last night. You sit in car 3, seat 2. Alone in a 2-seat car, the harness comes down and you press it into place. You feel it lock, and then you run your thumb along the left strap the way you always do. Habit, ritual, superstition. And your thumb finds something wrong. A patch on the strap, roughly the width of your thumb, where the surface texture changes. Not fabric anymore. Bare polymer underneath, worn through to the structural layer. You press it. It flexes slightly where it shouldn't. Marco reaches you. He pushes the lap bar once. It clicks. He moves on without looking at it. You look at the worn patch again. You think, that's just surface wear, cosmetic. You've ridden this 6 times and nothing has ever moved. The bar is locked. You checked it yourself. You can feel the resistance. The park runs safety inspections. There's a whole placard by the gate. You read it on the way in, the one that says, "Do not ride with loose or damaged restraints." But the strap isn't loose. The strap is locked. The worn part is just wear. The train begins to move. The lift hill is 78 feet of slow, grinding ascent, chain mechanism clattering beneath you, and you watch Vertigo Peak shrink below. The food court becomes a smear of color. The parking lot becomes a grid. Route 9 becomes a gray line drawn with a ruler across the flat Ohio landscape. The sky is enormous up here. The sun is in your eyes. Your hands are sweating inside the grip rails, and you squeeze them tighter. Somewhere beneath your seat, you hear it for the first time. A metallic tick. Not rhythmic. Irregular. Like something loose finding contact on every 3rd or 4th rotation of something else. You look down at the floor of the car. Nothing visible. You tell yourself every old coaster has sounds. You tell yourself the maintenance crew would catch anything real. You tell yourself a lot of things on the way up. At the top of the lift, you have 1 second of stillness. The park laid out below you in every direction. And then the track angles down and the world drops out from underneath you. And you are moving at 58 miles per hour inside of 2 seconds, and there is no room left for anything except the speed. The first drop is everything you came for. Your stomach leaves your body. Your vision narrows to a bright white corridor. The wind is so loud you can't locate your own heartbeat inside it. You scream and can't hear it. This is the feeling. This exact, enormous, annihilating feeling. This is why Danny's text didn't make you turn around. The first banked curve levels out and you're into the camelback section. 3 consecutive hills that lift you out of the seat on the crests and press you back down in the valleys. On the 3rd crest, at 61 miles per hour, you feel something you've never felt on this ride before. You rise from the seat, Normal, expected, but you rise further than you should. An extra inch of air between your thighs and the lap bar. You come down hard and the bar is there, solid, and you tell yourself it was the angle, the speed, just how this particular hill hits. You don't tell yourself this convincingly. The corkscrew inversion is next, 40 feet above the midway, 63 miles per hour, one full barrel roll that holds you upside down for 1.7 seconds. Blood rushes into your skull. The park hangs below you like a photograph of a park. And then, the harness shifts. The left strap. 3 centimeters of movement you can feel through your whole left side, a small, structural concession that shouldn't exist, like a building settling. Harnesses don't shift. You grab the lap bar itself, you pull it towards you, it doesn't move. It isn't going to move. The mechanism is what it is. You come out of the corkscrew right side up, the midway spinning back into place below, and you see the loop. 127 feet of chrome-bright steel ahead of you, backlit by the sun, enormous and patient. The track curves up into it like a question mark. You have 2,100 feet of course behind you. You have the most forceful element of the entire ride directly in front of you. And for the first time in 6 visits, you are not excited. Your hands are shaking. You can feel them shaking on the bar. The false flat before the loop gives you 3 seconds of level track. The ticking beneath the seat has stopped. The silence feels like something being decided. Your speed is 67 miles per hour. The G-force warning on the boarding placard said 4.2 at the loop's base. You know what that means for the harness load. You know this, even though you've never let yourself think about it clearly before. Because you've never had a reason to think about it clearly before. Because until today, the bar was always solid, and the strap was always whole. The loop takes you. 4.2 Gs press you into the seat with a hand that weighs 600 pounds. You are enormous and dense and pinned. The harness takes the load. And then the load spikes on the lateral shear of the entry curve, and the worn strap, 3 centimeters of slack already given, gives 3 more. The lap bar shifts outward. Not fully, not yet, but you feel it leave your thighs. There is space between you and the restraint that should not exist. You grab the bar with both hands and pull with everything in your body. Your nails are white. Something tears at the edge of your right thumbnail. 80 feet, 90. The ground below receding through the inverted frame of the loop structure. 100 feet. You are going up, and you cannot stop going up, and you cannot exit, and Marco is somewhere on the platform below looking at his phone. And there is no alarm, no emergency protocol, no version of this where someone notices before the number runs out. 127 feet. At the apex, G-force softens to 0.4, near weightless. The transition that looks from the ground like the most beautiful part of the ride. From inside it, hanging inverted over 127 feet of clear Ohio morning air, it is the moment the last remaining physics, working in your favor, let go. The lap bar lifts. You look down. Which is up? Which is the sky? Which is nothing? And there is full daylight between the restraint and your legs, clean and clear and final as a door opening. You think of your mother's face. Not a memory, just her face. The version of it she gets when you've done exactly what she told you not to do. The train begins the descent arc. At 38 feet above the ground, the worn strap fails. The polymer tear crosses the remaining material in 0.03 seconds. The lap bar swings open with a small, neat click. Administrative, almost polite. The seat lets you go. You rise from the car at the same speed the car is traveling, which is 67 miles per hour, and for 0.4 seconds you are in open air, with the park expanding in every direction, and the wind so total and enormous that it is indistinguishable from silence. You are still reaching for the bar. Your hands are still trying. Support Tower 4 is a vertical steel column 18 inches wide, bolted to a concrete footer, anchoring the loop's descent track to the main support structure. The clearance between the track and the column is 26 inches. You travel through 24 of them. The train completes the course. It decelerates through the final braking run and docks at the unloading platform with a long pneumatic exhale, the same sound it makes after every cycle, and precise and indifferent. The operator on the exit side begins the post-ride routine. He reaches car 3, seat 2. He stops. The seat is empty. The lap bar rests in its open position. The park is still playing music. Something with synthesizers, fast and bright, bleeding from the food court speakers into the thick summer air. Somewhere near Gate 1, a child is laughing at something. The train sits in its dock, waiting for the next cycle, and for a few seconds, nothing in the park knows anything has changed. 3 days later, a maintenance inspection triggered by the incident finds the same worn harness polymer on 4 other cars across 2 different rides at Vertigo Peak. The specific part had been flagged in a manufacturer's safety bulletin 11 months earlier. The park received the bulletin. It was filed under routine maintenance correspondence. The work order was never issued. The part was never replaced. You were not the first person to sit in car 3, seat 2 with that strap. You were simply the last one before the material ran out of reasons to hold. You made a choice at the boarding gate with your thumb on that worn patch. A small, quiet choice that took less than 3 seconds and felt like nothing. The park made a choice 11 months earlier in a maintenance office that probably also took less than 3 seconds and also felt like nothing. Both choices arrived at Support Tower 4 on the same morning. The ride didn't fail you randomly, it failed you on a schedule that was already set before you locked your bike at Gate 3, before you paid your $22, before Danny texted. You walked into a machine that had already made its decision. You just didn't know you were the one it had been waiting for. Most accidents don't look like accidents until afterward. They look like worn patches you decide are cosmetic, like operators who are mid-conversation, like safety bulletins that get filed and forgotten in the gap between what systems are supposed to do and what people inside them actually do on a hot Tuesday in September. Pay attention to the small, inconvenient details. Not because paying attention always saves you, but because the ones who didn't are the ones who never got to ask whether it would have. If this story made you feel something real, stay with that feeling for a minute before you click away.